Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to be working on fixing cracked carvings and carving mistakes. Should be a fun video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and stick around. Well guys, if you recognize these carvings, that's because they've been featured in the past couple videos. The moose we just did a tutorial and high-speed carving on. This was the tutorial moose where I messed up and carved too deep into the top of his head. So the goal today is, well, to repair it. And then the bear, well, he's from the eyeball and the face carving videos that I did. If you didn't get the tutorial on the moose, we'll have that popping up right here, or probably a couple seconds ago. And then after that, we'll have the tutorials popping up on this guy. So this guy's got a big crack, right? Needs to be repaired, and he's got a huge cut on the top of his head because I messed up. No big deal. Today we're going to work on fixing those. There's a few things you're going to need though. You're going to need some Gorilla Glue right here. Gorilla Glue Original. It bonds virtually everything. This stuff foams and makes a mess, so be prepared to make a mess. The next thing you're going to need to do is cut yourself wedges in small pieces, okay, that'll fit in the cracks. These ones might not be big enough, but that's okay. I might be able to double them up, or I'll cut more. Now there's benefits to having a bandsaw, which I have, and so I've cut these things on that. If you don't have a bandsaw, but you have the jaw horse, clamp a piece of scrap wood in there from your carving tent. Make sure your chain is really sharp, and cut yourself some slices, real thin slices, you know. Even if you have to double them up to fit them in there, it'd be better to have them a little narrow than too wide. So just keep that in mind. Now I think the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take a look at our bear. Now I just mixed up my straight cuts and my wedge cuts, and I'm looking at the pile thinking I don't have enough, so let's take a look at the moose first. Get this guy out of the way. Alright, so the moose has this big old cut on top of his head because, you know, I'm an amazing carver and made mistakes. Everybody does at one point or another, and is either you fix it or you don't. You've either got firewood or you have something you can sell. I would rather sell them than burn them, which means we have to do a little more work sometimes than we want to. But anyway, what I'm going to do is take some of these small pieces of pine here. It is better to use the same kind of wood. The moose is pine and the bear is poplar. I don't have any more little pieces of poplar lying around. I already cleaned them up, so we'll be using pine on him as well. Anyway, we got to look at these little pieces and just see if they're going to fit or where they're going to fit. So when you're making those, make sure you cut them so they'll fit, right? You can also dig around on the ground for little wedges from any past carvings you've done that you'll be able to use. But that's basically going to be it. You're going to just tap them all in. Now if you screw up in a spot that's like up here, that's a little different. You don't want to just tap it in like that, because if you do, you're going to split things. The fact is, he's up here, there's a lot of meat there. Hopefully he won't crack, but I can't guarantee it. Now if you want to guarantee not having too many more issues down the road, we'd let this guy go ahead and sit for a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how dry it is, and let him dry right out, and then fix all of it at once. But for the sake of the video and most of us not being that patient, I'm just going to do what most of us would do and what I've done in the past and haven't really found too many issues. Let's fix them right now. So we get some Gorilla Glue out. Don't get this stuff on your hands. It is just awful. It does not stick immediately like super glue, but it is sticky like honey. And it's not as crazy as it sounds, being as sticky like honey. You might not know it's on your hands, but once you touch everything, everything's going to stick to you, and then later when you go to clean it off, it doesn't come off. It's just, that's it. It's yours. It's part of you, and good luck. So, get this in here. I always say make sure to plan on a mess. Just plan on a mess. Because this stuff is a huge, huge mess. It always is. Every time I use it, it's just a mess. Could probably use less, but you know, why, right? And when you hammer it in, you got to make sure to hit your finger because that feels awesome. Really wakes you up. Love it. It's my favorite. It's good though for real to have a little scrap piece so you can kind of scoop the glue. And this is like arts and crafts hour, guys. You know, do you want to save the piece or not? That's pretty much it. Let me get all these in here and see what we gotta do next. Well, I planned on hitting high speed while I put those all in, and I turned the camera off and didn't turn it back on because, you know, it's just been those kind of weeks these days. I should say that kind of month. Anyway, this is what we're looking at. Hot Mess Express. All kinds of wedges, pieces right down in there, right? This thing's gonna have to dry for, I think, 3 to 4 hours, okay? We're gonna move him out of the way. Get our bear up here, start fixing the crack in the bear, but it's pretty much, it is the same process. All right, got our bear ready. I wanna show you guys the crack. I'm doing the big crack. I'm not like fixing these small ones. I'm gonna fix this bigger one and all the way up here, right? So it might be tougher to see and watch on camera, but it is the same process as a moose. The only difference is I'm gonna lay this guy on his side with the crack facing up. So glue goes down in there, and then we'll pop some wedges and some pieces in and fill it in. Well, guys, that's it for the bear carving repair. See all these wedges in there? You can throw some sawdust in there if you want. Make it more of a mess. Whatever makes you happy. A lot of times, though, everyone's always like, cram sawdust in there. Yeah, sure. Sometimes it stays. Sometimes as the glue foams up, it just pushes it all out anyway, except for the wedges. That's why you tap them in. You don't want them in so much that they crack your carving in half, but you just lightly tap, and they usually stand there enough where they'll just hold as the glue expands and foams. Now it's a waiting game, so you guys are gonna watch this commercial for me, and when I come back, the glue's gonna be dry, and I'll show you how to continue to fix these mistakes and cracks in your carvings. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back. And as you can see, all the wedges are glued in. The glue has dried. It's all foamed up and made a real mess. The moose is the same way too. We're gonna start though with the bear. And the best way to do this is just take the chainsaw and carve it all away, redoing the fur and everything, and then grabbing the power tools if I need them to clean it up. Well, there you go, guys. As you can see, it trimmed all the wedges off and redid the fur. And honestly, you can't even really see the fix. Well, missed a spot right there. I'll have to trim that out in a minute, but you can't really even see where the fix is. Now, if we went ahead and used the torch and hit it and burned it, there's a chance you'll see where that line was, you know, where the glue is and where the wood line is that you just put in, because the wood grain might not be exactly the same, or it might have been from some other piece of wood, and so it might burn differently and it may stand out. The way I get around that is this bear will get painted. His final finish will be paint and clear instead of burn and clear. So I am going to blow this guy off with the air hose real quick, touch up that spot, then blow it off, and then we'll paint him, set him aside, and work on finishing the moose. There you go, guys. The bear's painted all black. I'm gonna bring you in nice and close here so you guys can see where the repair was. And it was right here, going all the way down. So see, once he's painted black, it really covers up the majority of that repair. I'm not even sure if you guys can see it in the video. I can't tell filming, but really covers it up really well, and it looks way better than that huge crack from drying. So this guy for the most part is done. I will be doing a claws and paws kind of video here in the near future, and what we're going to do is walk through carving out claws on this, and then I'll also have a bear that's sitting so you can see the bottom of his feet and how we would carve out that pattern as well. So right now I'm going to move this guy aside and then we'll do the moose. Like I said, guys, we would also repair the moose in the video. You can see he's got the wedges, the glue, that Gorilla Glue going all over the place. Take the chainsaw, carve it away, and well, I got to put some eyes in him real quick, and then we'll shoot him with some brown paint, and that'll be that. If you guys missed the video on how to carve the eyes, the way I carve the eyes, I'll have a link popping up right here. You guys can go back, check that video out. I'll walk you through the process of carving the eyes in a bear, but it's pretty much the same thing for the moose as well. What I'm going to do next is spray this guy with some brown paint. So if you remember, we had to fix right down the front of his face. Bring this in so you guys can actually take a look. Kind of see that line, right? Again, if you were to burn it, it might stand out even more like a sore thumb. And so this guy will get painted as a final finish. Now you could hit him with the torch and get all the fuzzies off. I'm just skipping that on this one. You could do it though, no big deal. I'm just not gonna finish him with the torch. Now this is not a paint respirator, okay guys? So if you buy these, they're not a paint respirator. Those have way better filters. I'm just using this to help dissipate some of the crap I'm inhaling. So there is the moose all painted up. Let's get in here and look at that repair a little closer. Okay, that repair was right here, right down the head of the face, and you can't even really tell it was there. Maybe it'll show up clearer on the camera, but right now I don't really see it. I mean, there's a little bit of a line, but it doesn't stand out like it did, and definitely looks way better, and we didn't even have to scrap this whole piece. So, you know, you could have scrapped it and started over, But if a customer were to buy one and you got a big crack there, instead of you making a bad cut like me, at least now you guys know how to fix it, right? Well guys, that's it. Fixing cracks and bad cuts, overcuts, mistakes. I hope this video is informational and informative, and it'll help you guys with your carving projects in the future. You know, you make a mistake, you can fix it, or when it dries out and it cracks, you can fix it for your customer, or you know, whatever you got going on. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you guys haven't already. I really do appreciate that. Keep an eye out for the paws and claws video. That'll be a tutorial like this. So when you hit subscribe, hit the bell, you'll be alerted to all my new videos when they're uploaded. I really appreciate you guys watching. I thank you for your support, and I'll see you guys next time.